meeting. Thank you. Also joining us as their first meeting as a member is Toastmaster Eddie. Toastmaster Eddie, would you like to switch on your video and share with us what brought you to Delhi One Toastmasters and give us a couple of pearls of wisdom from your side as well?
Thank you very much, first of all. So, my name is Eddie. I am from Arunachal Pradesh. And about Toastmasters, I I really wanted to improve my public speaking and my communication skills. So I was searching on the internet. I was surfing there, and I somehow I came across this Delhi One Toastmasters. I found it really interesting. So then I decided that I should register myself as a member. So yeah, that's how I joined here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Eddie. Welcome to the club. And I also see a few guests with us. Guest Surte, would you like to share what brought you to Delhi One Toastmasters and what you do?
Yeah, good evening to all. I'm Suraj. Actually, 2 years back, I was in my college, and somehow I got to know about the Toastmaster, and so I decided to join the Toastmaster as a guest for first few meetings. Then afterward, I just couldn't continue at that time because I have exams at that time, and if I talking about what I do, then I recently pass out I recently graduated from Delhi University, and right now I am pursuing my chartered accountancy course, and currently I am doing my Article 6 from one of the big four. Yeah, that's all.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Welcome to the meeting, Suraj. And I hope that you have a very good time here. And this time, take the plunge and join us. I'd also like to welcome Rahul Bharadwaj. I'm not sure if you're a Toastmaster, but Rahul, would you introduce yourself to us and let us know what brings you to Delhi One Toastmasters?
Yeah, hi everyone. Very good evening. Hope you all are doing well. So I'm an IT professional and belong to Gurgaon, Haryana. And there are two basic things that I wanted to join any such clubs. It's my first time I'm here, and firstly I'm an IT professional, and being in IT industry, you require a very good communication skill. And the other thing is like I had some blockages. I I used to stammer actually. So it's been 6 months. I have worked very hard on my blockages research stamping, and I see that's it's quite I feel like I have made improvement. So because of that as well, I just wanted to enhance that and try to and also try to overcome those blockages as well. Yeah, that's all about me.
Thank you so much, Rahul. Believe me, I truly admire the courage and determination that one needs to overcome their speech impediments. It's not at all easy, especially when the very practice brings you in front of people. And that is the one thing that causes an intense reaction inside us. I'm sure that you will also find the Toastmasters program very beneficial, as I've seen it help many others overcome their stammering and speech impediments. And I'm sure that you'll have a great time in Toastmasters, and I hope that you do join us very soon. Thank you so much for coming. Now I'd like to welcome Varun Agarwal. Please share a bit about yourself and let us know what brought you to Delhi One Toastmasters.
Hi, everyone. So I have been, this is the first time I've joined Toastmasters meet. I mean, I have attended 2 meetings before this, and this is the first time I have attended this Delhi Delhi 1 Toastmasters, and I look forward to become a public speaker. And I mean, it was my very deep down, settled dream, which after pandemic, I decided to take this full time and become a public speaker. And it was my yearning to to become a Toastmaster, and definitely I would love to go for that.
Thank you so much. I'm going to have to take some of the guest introductions in the latter half of the meeting when we come towards the closing segment in the interest of time. But I would like to welcome Jatin Shakya, Manat Kaur, Ashish Sharma, and I just like to take 30 seconds for welcoming and asking Tushar Bansal and Ankur Srimali to please, one by one, introduce themselves back to the club, because these are some of my dearest friends and I could not let go of this opportunity. Tushar, would you go first?
Yeah, sure. I would love to go first. Hello, everyone. My name is Tushar, and I was part of this wonderful club, DOTM. I made uh, many great people here. I made many friends here. I learned many things. I think I was 17 or 18 when I joined DOTM, and meeting such great people, listening them, learning from them was a very different, very new to me. And listening their speech was like a book to me. So that was the, I think I would say that that was the first phase of my life where I found, you know, something really good to learn, to improve, to have something in your life where you, yes, you can see that this is not a dead end. You stay more, you learn more. So I'm glad to glad to be there in this meeting again. Good to see
Thank
you,
you so
really
much.
good to see you, other people as
Thank
well.
you. Thank you so much, Tushar. Tushar, you must have been 18, otherwise you couldn't have joined Toastmasters. It's against the rules. But for everyone's benefit, Tushar was my VPPR when I was VP at one point of time, and he was my magic wand. He used to make sure that every single thing that I told him, no matter what time of the night or day, he would make it happen. He was my magician. And another magician who's led such an impact on my life, my very good friend, Toastmaster Ankur Srimali, whom I just cannot bring myself to call as a non-Toastmaster. Ankur.
Hello everyone. Hi Roli. So it feels really happy to be back at my home Toastmaster Club DOTM. It has been a great part of my life. Ever since I moved to Delhi, I became member of DOTM, and almost 2.5 years I was part of it. Only I think last year September I decided to move from the club, but as it is a special occasion where Toastmaster Rolisina is presiding the club, and I also get to see a lot of familiar faces, Devi, Anand, Karthik, and everyone who has joined recently. I wish you all very best. I'm sure that you must have realized that you are part of a really good club, and you take forward this club legacy under the leadership of Roli and all other EC members. So all the best to everyone, and thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ankur. Big, huge round of applause for all the guests and the new members who joined us. On behalf of my entire EC team, I welcome you, and let's begin our first meeting of this term, meeting number 310. Again, we rise. Toastmaster Jatin Verma, all yours.
Thank you so much, Madam President. I couldn't have received such an introduction on my debut. Like, I was overwhelmed, and I couldn't even basically regard you in the same way, in the same fullness of word, in the same warmth. But still, many happy returns of the day. And coming on to our theme, in 1938, there was a man in an Hungarian army. He was the best pistol shooter in the country. and had won all the national championships. Everyone was assured that he would win a gold medal at the Olympics 1940s. He had just one dream, to make his shooting head the best in the world, and he succeeded. In the same year, there was an army training camp, and he was part of it. During training, an accident took place. While practicing with hand grenades, unfortunately, a hand grenade exploded in the hand, which was said to bring the gold medal for the country. Do you know who was that man? Most of you might not know his name, but the name of the man was Carolee. For 1 month, he was under medical supervision in the hospital. Carolee focused on the thing which he had, the left hand, the hand from which he couldn't even write from. And right after 1 month, he was back on the field to train his left hand, the only hand. Just like Carolee focused on the things he had, let us focus with all our dedication on the segment we have in the meeting. First is the prepared speech segment, where the member delivered their thoroughly prepared speech. Today, we have just one speaker due to time constraints and the addition of an informative module. Second is the table topic segment, where not only members, but also the guests are encouraged to learn and hone their impromptu skills. Third, we have the most important segment, which is the evaluation segment, where the general evaluator, with the help of his team, provides a constructive feedback on the entire meeting. Last but not the least, for the benefit of new members, our elected president will conduct an orientation program regarding the pathways and further queries. To help us reach our goal, which is to become a better leader and a public speaker, we have a set of stupendous auxiliary role players. It was a matter of few unfortunate seconds that the hand grenade had exploded in the hand of Carolee. Therefore, the timing is really important in our lives. And for the specific aspect of the life and meeting, we have the role of timer. Please welcome our timer of the day, Shubham Rastogi, to explain his role.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. The theme of the meeting is very appropriate to my role. We rise again. And there is only one message that I would like to convey to my fellow speakers. The timing is always auspicious to rise again, to get back again into that race. Just go out and earn for that growth in your life. Just go out and try to be the light of someone else's life. Just don't worry about the timing. The timing is always correct. That's the single message that I would like to give to every one of you. However, per se, the timing is very important for this throughout this Toastmasters meeting. And I am here as a timer role to calculate each and every timing of the different agendas. I'll just keep it very short. I'll be using only 3 colors, which is green, yellow, and red. The green color symbolizes the appropriate time allocated to that particular agenda. The yellow time is the mean of the duration, and the red time is the upper limit. So for an example, for a 5 to 7 minute speech, 5 minutes is a green singular, and for 6 minutes it's yellow, and for 7 it's red. And we have only 30 seconds of upper limit for different timings. For table topics, we will have a 2-minute session, which have only upper limit of 30 seconds. At the end of the meeting, I will prepare and submit my report with all the team members. Thank you, Toastmaster of the day.
The path was not smooth at all for Carolee to rise up and walk again. But still he stood up and marched on. But fortunately, we have the counter to make this journey smooth for us. I congratulate Devi to on a comeback and taking the role in such short span of time. Please welcome our counter of the day, Devi D, to explain her role.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Jatin. A warm good evening, everybody. It feels so great to be back to DOTM. It's been almost 3 months, been away from the meeting, and it feels so good now. So when I saw the theme first, one quote came to my mind. That is given by Dale Carnegie. That is, every day is a new life for a wise man. What happens in our life is at times we get so bogged down by difficulties that we fail to understand that we have the opportunity to change our life in the coming days. If you see life as, or if you lead your life one day at a time, just one day at a time, you can live life to the fullest. And it's often seen that most of us are trying to practice mindfulness. Our mind keeps running from past to future, and rarely we try to be in the present. So mindfulness is one thing that helps us to be in the present and just live one day and make most out of one day. When you lead life in that fashion, by being mindful, you see a lot of opportunities coming your way. You become more observant, you become more analytical, and you become more happy. Because you're rarely worried about the future or the past. So as the theme goes, let's raise again. So on this path of mindfulness, on this path of raising again, you'll face a lot of difficulties. Same way in our Toastmaster journey, our count or the unexpected pauses or the filler sound, it acts as roadblocks. It challenges the smooth flow of our communication. So as the R counter, my job is to make sure that we overcome these roadblocks like unintentional R sound, sound, repetitive sounds like and so these come out of our mind unexpectedly or without even we noticing it. So I'll help you in pointing out these small nitty-gritties in your speech so that you can give a smooth flow to your communication. So everyone just be focused on these aspects, be aware of these aspects, and let's make our communication more smooth and more enhanced. So I will be back with my report at the end of the meeting. Over to you, TM Modi.
Evaluation of successes and failures was an important part of Carol's journey. Similarly, we have a language evaluator to assess and provide a constructive feedback. A testament to her excellence, like DVD has accepted the role on the live meeting. Please welcome the language evaluator, DVD, to explain her role.
Am I audible, Toastmaster Jatin?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, thank you so much. So this time I've taken up the role of language evaluator as well. Let me brief you on the role of language evaluator. As a language evaluator, I'll note the proper as well as improper use of languages. For example, if we are using proper tenses, if the word choice is appropriate, if you have used some good similes, good metaphors, and most importantly, if you have used the word of the day and the idiom of the day. For example, the word of the day is earning. So the meaning of this word earning is the feeling of intense longing for something. If I have to give an example, I would say I earn a lot for eating pastries, or I earn to achieve more in my Toastmaster journey, or I earned to achieve the DTM award of the day. Idiom of the day is to be a light in someone's life, to motivate somebody and to change their life. So I request you all to actively make use of the word of the day as well as the idiom of the day, and whoever uses the word of the day and the idiom of the day will acknowledge it with a thumbs up. So I'll be back with my report at the end of the meeting, and over to you, TM Modi.
In 1939, after training his left hand for a year, Kareli returned to the national championships in Hungary. There was a lot of pistol shooters who congratulated him on the spirit that even after such a devastating injury, he has come to cheer and support them. No one knew that he was training his left hand for a year. He replied that I'm not here to cheer for you, but to compete and fight against you. Then the competition took place. Everyone was competing with their best hand, but Kareli was competing with his only hand. So who won the competition? The man with the only hand. This shows the level of preparation Kareli had. Similarly, a lot of preparation goes in a speech. Before calling a speaker, allow me to welcome the speech evaluator Bhavya Jain to recite the title and the objectives of the speech.
Good evening, everyone. So today we have our speaker as Toastmaster Kartik Mishra. He would be delivering his Level 5 Project 1 speech of the Pathway Leadership Development. The speech title is Manage Successful Events. The purpose of the speech and project is to practice planning, organizing, leading, and implementing an event and share his experience through the speech. The title of his speech is Hosting Experience of Online Event. Timer, please note the speech duration would be 5 to 7 minutes. Wishing all the best to Toastmaster Kartik, and I would like to hand over the stage back to Toastmaster Jatin.
I believe that a speaker has put a lot of effort and hard work to fine-tune the speech. When I asked Kartik about how he rose after a setback, I got the most simple reply: by accepting the situation and trying to find a solution. How simple it can be. Please welcome Kartik Mishra with a round of applause. Kartik Mishra, hosting experience of online event. Kartik Mishra.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. On 21st of June, the day was called as International Yoga Day. I was in my hometown, visited with my parents, and a cousin of mine who was running a small-scale school in a Hindi medium. He wants to organize a special event on the eve of International Yoga Day, comprises of the yoga exercise and the interactive section with students in order to inculcate the focus towards the healthier lifestyle towards younger generation. So on the 18th of June, he requested me to conduct the online event for his school called Gyan Prakash Vidyalaya in Etawah district, UP. So because the last planned host had become ill. For that, with the reference and my experience from the Toastmaster meetings, the first thing, according to the plan to help make a meeting successful, is I take up the step to prepare an agenda comprising of for how long the online event will be held. The online event was planned of not more than 2 hours because it was held at from 6 a.m. in the morning to 8 a.m. And in that short amount of time, the first thing was held at the address of the respective principal of the school, then the addressing of the chief guest and few words from him, then yoga session from yoga scholar Laji Jaiswal of 30 minutes, and then the conduction of event by me of around 1 hour, which was related to interactive session. So the agenda was comprising of the 5 parts, and on the conclusion from the feedback from the students and their parents. The preparation of agenda and the time allotted was decided as per plan. Then the next thing was the allotment of work, because the whole meeting and this handling more than 600 estimated students plus parents, by my alone I can't do it. So I've taken the help of 4 sincere students, which was also a good performance in studies. Devyani, Ritik, Kanishk, and Kushagra. The one team member had taken responsibility of the host, the selecting of the particular participant who want to speak, seeing the raising hand, move, and then another team member taking the responsibility of muting everyone, because during the meeting I've experienced the, especially for the younger generation students, they are very much fun loving. So one of them either make few funny noises or made the or tried to switch off the video and was dancing during the yoga asanas. Then the next responsibility, other than agenda and designating the teamwork, the next thing which I experienced in the conducting of online meeting is to have a contingency plan in case Churches is not as favorable as was predicted and planned. Like I have conducted for the interactive session, I have conducted a quiz related to the sporting activities, like the Euro Cup of football, which was going on, showing the images of famous sports stars, and ask them who are they, and use the famous quotations of respected leaders of our country and yoga practitioners, well known. For that, with the help, the same like before this meeting, the electricity has gone, and the issue was faced of audio and visual. So the experience was not well enjoyable. So the thing, the contingency plan should be made that to have a backup internet connection and have backup devices, more than one, to make the meeting successful. And the more important thing is to make session more appealing, more improvised, and more to be made to for the students, because for the young kids, their preferences of for their preferences, the attention needs to be made is different. For that thing, the way I was speaking was not making them attentive enough, and they are showing disinterest. So for that, impromptu table topics happen. The thing I need to learn is for improvise to make more appealing content for kids. So these 4 major things that I've learned to plan in order for that to prepare well coordinated agenda to make a team and designate team members with the fixed plan, then to make the content appealing and to improvise. That's all I have experienced. That's it from my end. Thank you. Over to team on.
I congratulate Karthik Mishra for such an outstanding speech. Like, you have put all your personal experience in the speech, and I really like your lazy flamboyance, the style which you have. And we will cast no ballots today because we have just a single speaker. And I will request Anand to please put on the feedback form in the chat box, please. Oh, there it is. You all can give feedback, please. The link is in the chat box. Moving ahead in the meeting, I'll carry around the story of Kareli. Kareli had a clarity in his goal that he wanted to make his left hand not best in the country, but in the entire world. Then he put all his focus on the 1940 Olympics. But as the Olympics was about to happen, the event was cancelled due to the World War II. Kareli was in deep upset, but yet again, he put all his focus on the 1944 Olympics. However, again, the 1944 Olympics was cancelled due to the World War II. This shows that we may not perceive an unprecedented event. To stimulate unexpected events, we have the table topic segment. In this segment, both the members and the guests can participate to hone their impromptu skills. When I asked our table topic master about how he rises after a fall, he replied that he didn't even accept the setback. His belief in God was a major support for him. Please allow me to welcome our table topic master, who is doing his debutant role, Lalit Agarwal, with a huge round of applause.
Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster of the day, Jatin. Good evening. Good evening, fellow Toastmaster and guests. Table topic enable a member to develop the skills of impromptu speaking. Table topic help train members to quickly organize and express their thoughts. Since we at Toastmaster try and provide a speaking opportunity to maximum audience member, this session is not restricted to members alone. Even our guests can participate. I may randomly call anyone to participate, or you can volunteer to come up by unmuting yourself. You have to choose any one number from 1 to 10, then I will give you a topic to speak. The timing for table topic session is 1 to 2 minutes. 1 minute is the minimum time and 1.5 minutes is the target time and 2 minutes is the maximum time. Speakers are allowed to speak for maximum of 2.5 minutes. Each speaker must try to use word of the day in your speech. Today's word is yearning. Now I would like to call amongst member to volunteer for the first table topic so that our guests can have fair idea of table topic speech.
I would like to go ahead, Lalit.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shubham. So
9.
Okay.
It goes without saying.
Okay, great. So Toastmaster Shubham, your topic is winners never quit and quitters never win. Winners never quit and quitters never win. Toastmaster Shubham, over to you.
Thank you, Lalit. This is certainly a valid table topic. Winners never quit and quitters never win. Throughout our life, we always see the names of different successful men, be it in your hometown to Bill Gates. But what is the journey we have to see? Whosoever has achieved, you call it success, you call it fame of life, you call it, those who have fulfilled their yearning. They are the winners. They have that yearning in their life not to quit, not to set back. That's why this is the right theme Jatin has picked up. We rise again. Winners always rise again. They look at the bigger picture. They look at the different horizon. They don't quit. And those who quit, they never win. They will tend out to look for some different type of excuse, whether to join the Toastmaster Club or not, but to start and to take a track are the winners. That is the only message that I would like to give, Lalit.
Thank you. Thank you. Wow, what a speech. Thank you, Toastmaster Shubham. So now I would like to call amongst our guests. So guest Rahul.
Yeah, I would like to continue.
Thank you, Rahul. So your topic is opportunities don't happen, you create them. Opportunities don't happen, you create them. Over to you, guest Rahul.
Yeah, it is one of the interesting topic. Thank you, Lalit, for such an interesting topic. And if we talk about opportunity, yeah, hey, am I audible to everyone?
Yes, yes.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So, like, if I would like to quote an example, like I was waiting for a few months to improve in my speech, and as soon as I realized that now I'm able to be in a situation that I can speak among people, so I had received I had already joined this meeting thing, and I received an email, and as soon as I saw, so I joined the meeting, and and also it's like if we try to create an opportunity, so even if we lose, we always earn. There is no such thing called failure. So we always earn, and in case we have failed, even we have still have experience, and we can share the experience to others as well, and help them to create opportunities for themselves as well, and to be the and and I think we can be the light of their life as well. So yeah, it's all about this opportunities.
Thank you. Thank you, Rahul. So can I can see Manat Kaur. So Manat, your topic is for every setback, God has a major comeback. For every setback, God has a major comeback. Over to you, Manat.
Right. Yeah, I'll just take 10 seconds more.
Sure.
Right, I'm back. Timer, you may please start my time now. Indeed, with every setback, there's always a way God has to instigate us to come back to what we were trying to quit earlier. So, telling you an example of mine first, and then maybe of my role model, I'd say. So, I'd not say a few days back, a month back, we had this computational linguistics Olympiad, that's the IOL, and it's basically programming, and I was appearing for it, and basically it's competitive programming, so I was appearing for it, and then I started with the Olympiad, and to be very honest, it didn't go too well, and even the result was not that well. And at that time, literally, I was having a feeling that I should drop the idea of programming or software engineer that I have, because I've been doing this since so long. I'm doing programming since over 3 years now. Even then, I'm not able to solve questions of an Olympiad. What sort of a what sort of practice am I doing where I actually don't? I'm actually not able to solve an Olympiad question. So at that time, I felt that okay, all the time that I've put into programming is all useless because the output is not at all coming. And being very honest, I had really dropped it. I mean, I didn't even look at it for 15 days. But then, uh, there was this one thing that happened that made me get back to programming. Even right now, just that's going on parallel, there's a code that's running. So you see, I came back to what I was trying to uh, go far off with. So what really happened was that at that very moment there was this spark that happened, that I got selected in one of the uh, very renowned programming club that's there here in DPS RK Puram, and it's been a really big privilege to be a part of it. And it was like like light in a big tunnel, in a dark tunnel, and that's what drove me to get back to programming. So I'd say that even if God gives you a major setback, like it can be a very huge one. Taking the example of Steve Jobs, it was like his world turned around. He was fired out of Apple, and he didn't know anything apart from Apple, or he had never imagined anything out of it. And when he was removed from his company itself, what could he have done? First, in the movie itself, I saw it's authentic one, so it was seen that he had a wish to really quit at that time, but even then he did not, and he went on to create the his next company, Next, NEXST. So that was something that allowed him, that was a trick of God to get him back into his company, or to face the company again. After he was done with after he made the company Next and Pixar, and he became renowned for in them as well, the CEO that was there in Apple at that time also understood the capabilities of Steve Jobs. So even though at first they might have thought that he was someone who wasn't that serious with it, but after that, after they got to know and after they saw him flourishing later on, they approached him back and made him the CEO after in the end. So in this, even though Steve Jobs was faced with a very, very harsh comeback, even though it can be the worst thing ever, but even then God had a comeback. And even today, he is someone who is even above Bill Gates even today, even if he is not there right now, but he is even above Bill Gates today. And that's what I like to end with. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. So, Toastmaster timer, do we have time to conduct one more Toastmaster table topic?
Sorry, Lalit, we are already, since starting, we are off timing right now. I would suggest, since we have a different session today of this, Lalit, so I would suggest you to skip it if possible. Or we can have only one then, maximum.
I can see guest Tushar hands. So Tushar, your topic is I never lose, I either win or learn.
Can you repeat?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah. Can you repeat the topic?
I never lose, I either win or learn.
Yeah, it's a great topic. I can relate it with my past experiences where I have learned so many things. I chosen my goals. I chosen a very rough path. I chosen that I had a mindset that yes, I can do it. But at the end, I found that no. Uh, my goal was good, but my strategy was very wrong. Like I can relate my last year of my college where I chosen a path to prepare for my gate examination, where I isolated myself from the social world. I just kept myself in a room. I used to study for like 10 hours a day, seriously. For in the beginning, it was very great. I was learning. I could see the growth within myself, within the subject, the understanding. But after 10 days, I saw a deep, what I say, I mean, I was giving time, but I was not learning anything. I was reading books, but there was nothing going in my mind. And you might be thinking that I might have stopped, but no, I did not. I continued it till 2 months, and after 2 months, there was a huge change within myself, where I was not able to talk to anybody, where I was just be within my thoughts. I could not relate with other people, and at the end, I needed some other help. Overall, at the end of the year, I found that social life and interaction with the people is also important. Giving time to yourself is important. Doing meditation, doing exercise is important. Having a goal is good, but try to keep some time for yourself. So I think that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, I would like to request Tech Master to please launch the poll for the best table topic speaker.
Jatin, I think, do you want me to do it? Okay, it's done.
We are done with polls.
Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster Jatin. I'm
Can
thankful
we
to all.
have, apologies, can we have a couple of, okay, it's closed. Thank you.
So I'm thankful to all the participants for making this session so interesting. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day, Jatin Verma.
It didn't even seem like a table topping master was doing his duty for the first time. Like, he seemed like a veteran. Moving on to our next segment. Even after major setbacks, Carolee didn't give up his hope. After both 1940 and 1944 Olympics was cancelled, he shifted all his focus to 1948 Olympics. He was 28-year-old in 1938, and after 10 years, he was 38 years old. It has become difficult to compete against young talent. Evaluating his strengths and working hard on his weaknesses was imperative for him to achieve his goals. Fortunately, Toastmasters have a setup in which we have a set of evaluators who can help us learn and march forward, just like Carolee. When I asked our general evaluator the advice he would give to people who have had a setback, he said, learn from failures, surround yourself with positive people, and take a step forward. The general evaluator has always been an elder brother to me. Whenever I have a problem, I just have reached to them. Please welcome our general evaluator, Alok Hujur, with a round of applause. Alok, I believe you are not audible.
Alok, can you just check your device's speaker, the audio, the microphone, sorry, microphone. Check it in the Zoom window. Just click on the upward arrow next to unmute in the bottom left of your Zoom window. And see if the microphone has been selected to the device that you are using.
Try unmuting again. You are on mute, Alok.
No, right now he's on
Yeah.
mute, but even when he had unmuted, it wasn't audible.
Yes.
Now he is unmuted.
Yeah. Did he just disconnect?
He must be trying from a different device now.
All right. So while Toastmaster Alok rejoins, I'll just give a quick brief about the evaluation segment. The evaluation segment is typically divided into 3 parts. First of all, we invite our speech evaluator to share observations on the speech that has been delivered. Next, we will have the Aussie role players delivering their reports, the timer and the R counter and the language evaluator. And finally, the general evaluator will come back and take the stage to share his observations. So let me invite Toastmaster Bhavya Jain to please share her observations for Toastmaster Karthik's speech.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Roli. So the price of greatness is responsibility. And I think we all can agree how responsible Toastmaster Karthik is. He organized a very special event on the occasion of Yoga Day, and the amount of dedication he was speaking with, I just loved it. This speech has a fantastic chronology of the events by explaining the introduction about what project he actually managed and what were his duties, the date, location, the audience in his event, and what all his responsibilities were. So that was amazing. He clearly mentioned about what all responsibilities he had and the challenges he faced, like his responsibilities of making the agenda and managing a team of 4 students along with him. And to make sure that the event is interactive, he had made a quiz for students. He also talked about the various challenges he had along with working with children, like young children making noises or turning their videos off or dancing between the sessions. So that was very humorous, and he made sure that we are all entertained and the audience is engaged properly. He also mentioned about the lessons he learned, that we should always have a backup device and internet connection in any weather condition can arise. He also talked about how he can rise again as a better host of the meeting by making it more interactive and engaging for students. So I loved how he concluded his speech by a summary of what all his responsibilities were and his learnings. So to make an amazing speech even more brilliant, Toastmaster Karthik can consider a few points like speaking while standing so that he can use his hands gestures more properly, and the stage movement to make the message absorb more in a more better way to the audience. And also the eye contact can be worked on. Like in the starting of the speech, the eye contact was sometimes on this side or on this side, but later it was in the center. So a little more practice on the eye contact while standing up will give a much very nice interaction with the audience. And the title can be chosen in such a way that it it creates a suspense for the audience, like what could happen in the speech, instead of giving a summary of the entire speech, so that we can have a more excitement before the speech, like what would come in the speech today. So the speaker had a brilliant speech chronology. A little more work on the body language can make the speech even more splendid. So that's all from my side. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Can I take over now?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. Sorry, I lost my connection because it is raining outside and there is a bit of thunderstorm also. So, first of all, thank you, speech evaluator Toastmaster Bhavya, for giving such a good evaluation. You pointed out about Toastmasters Karthik about giving his speech while standing, maintaining eye contact, and giving a proper title and summary. Also, I would like to add one thing for Toastmaster Karthik, that while giving a speech, you can create an environment where you have less distractions. Like you can, I saw sometimes you are getting distracted by your phone calls or messages. So you can just forward your phone calls for the time being if possible. So that's one recommendation from my side. And moving ahead to our other role players, I would like to take the reports as well. First, I would like to start with our founder for the meeting, Toastmaster David. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Alok. So here goes my counter report. And starting with Toastmaster Rolish, he had 1 hour. TMOD Toastmaster Jatin had 3 hours. Toastmaster Karthik had 1 hour. Toastmaster Rahul had 1 hour, and the repetitive word that he used was and. And Toastmaster Gavalier Mannat had 8 hours, and the repetitive word that she used was so. Toastmaster Tushar had 1 hour, and Toastmaster Alok had 3 hours. I'm sure next time we'll keep a track of it and we'll work hard to overcome these filler words. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster David. I also hand over the stage to you as well for the language evaluator. So please take over.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Alok. Now here is my language evaluator report. I earned for a good meeting and I definitely had it. And there's a lot of good usage of words in today's meeting. For example, Toastmaster Roli used the word beckoned, and Jatin had a good word usages like horn the skills, imperative, stupendous, lazy flamboyance. Then Bhavya also had some good use of words like chronology, splendid. And Mannat brought in a phrase, light in a big tunnel, and she used the word flourishing. And people who used the word of the day was Varun Agarwal, and Shubham used it twice. And the idiom Toastmaster Shubham used it. So let's give these people a big round of applause for using the word and as well as idiom. Now coming to certain improvement areas, where can we improve upon? One of the speaker used the World War. So you can avoid the word the, and it's just World War. World War I, World War II. And a speaker used it had become. It has become. So he was referring to a past event. So you can use it had become. And there was a word phrase usage that his hope. So instead of using his hope, he hoped. You can use it in that way. And there was again a slight error in using past tense. Again, one of the speaker used he wants to. He was referring again to action in the past, so it can be he wanted to. I can't do it. It was I couldn't do it. Again, it was referring to the past. And then there was a phrase called planned of. So it should be planned for. And there was again another long phrase which was used in the conduct. You can simplify it by using while conducting. So there was, there was one more usage which we can make note of. That is, the speaker used continued it for 2 months. It could be continued it for 2 months. So this was my report. So I hand over the stage back to our general evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster David. Now to request our timer to please come onto the stage and share his report. Over to Toastmaster Subham.
Thanks, Alok. I'll use my dashboard to present my report. So just let me. First of all, I would like to congratulate our two main role players, Karthik and Lalit Agarwal. They had that stage for most of the time, but they did not exceed it in even a single minute. Just a huge applause for them. Thank you. Coming over to the detailed report, Roli Sinha exceeded the timeline, but considering her birthday and her first experience, we can spare this exceeding. Rather, we enjoyed it, but we'll keep a track of it later on. Jatin, while introducing the theme and the structure, exceeded quite a lot. We'll try to cut short the length of the duration for the introduction. I'll skip the TMOD segment. Then on the prepared segment, the introduction and the evaluation were on time by Bhavya, by Karthik. The feedback was done on time. Jatin again did the introduction on time for the table topic. Coming over to the table topics, I've skipped mine. Hope somebody else have kept a record. Rahul was on time. Mannat has exceeded by 3 minutes. I would suggest Mannat to keep a track of the timing so that the meeting is structured. Tushar, table topic was on time. Coming over to the evaluation segment, more or less everybody was on time. So I would congratulate everyone to keep the spirit high and take the time very seriously in the next meeting as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Subham. Now I would like to begin my evaluation of the entire meeting. First of all, before I start my evaluation, I would like to convey my gratitude to all the outgoing EC members who have done a great job and helped our club achieve so many successes and milestones. Starting with our immediate past president, Toastmaster Bhavya Jain, who led from the front, and all the other EC officers, VP Education, VP Membership, VP PR, Secretary, Treasurer, Sergeant at Arms. They have done a great job and they were a great support and role model for all of us. So thank you all. Now starting my evaluation. First of all, starting with our Sergeant at Arms, he started the meeting right on time. We started with the naming convention, showed the slide, showed the rules of the meeting. One thing I would like to add that you can use the video presentation that our past Sergeant at Arms used to have before the meeting, so that the guest could get more information about our club. So if you can just add that bit, it's up to you, but if that's my opinion, it will be a great enriching and informative for our guests as well. Now coming to our president, now what can I say about her? First of all, happy birthday to you from my side as well. And probably she's like the guiding star or the North Star for all of us whom we can look up to whenever we face any difficulties. She is really the light of our club when it comes to Toastmaster. And I love the way she greeted all of us and especially the guests. She warmly welcomed the guest and took the introduction in a very calm and with a smiling face that we are so fond of. And she used great encouraging sentences like, if you remain yourself. If you choose to evolve, you will be what you meant to be. So, and the way she encouraged our guests, especially Rahul Bhardwaj, I remembered one incident. A guest named Ashwara, she had the same problem. She had a stuttering pattern and she was struggling a bit in her table topic speech. And the way Toastmaster David encouraged her, she went on to deliver her speech for at least 4 to 5 minutes. And I was really very emotional, and I wish she would have spoken for at least 4 to 5 minutes more, and I could have listened to her. The way she Toastmaster really encouraged her. So that is what something we can learn from her. So, and I think we are a club of new members. So I think we are in good hands right now. So thank you, Toastmaster Roli. And coming to our team mode, uh, I think team mode choose the theme very choose a very nice theme. I think he could have used his 6 minute the time which was allotted to him a bit more. I think the introduction could have been more elaborate. You could have delved more into the theme. One thing I would like to point out that Toastmaster Jatin, uh, while introducing the role players, you forgot to thank the role players after the introduction. That is something you could just uh, do next time. I know this is your first role and you were a bit nervous, I guess. So I think it's not a big issue, but it's a good habit to thank your role players after they have given their introduction. Now coming to our other auxiliary role players, starting with my R counter and language evaluator. She is a veteran Toastmaster. We all look up to her for uh, her support and mentorship. So as I have no such recommendation for her R counter or language evaluator role. Uh, she was absolutely flawless today. So all the best and good luck for your next meetings. Now coming to our timer, I guess Toastmaster Shubham, I love the way that you use technology in every role that you do, especially the work you do with your Excel sheet. One recommendation for you is that you could just keep uh, the time that you are showing in the your Excel sheet. It feels like a bomb is ticking whenever we see a time being displayed on the screen. If you could just show the background or use a screen sharing, it would be a great help to all the speakers so that they don't get distracted by seeing the time or every time you share the screen in between. So this is one thing that you can do from the next meeting. Coming to our table topics, Toastmaster Lalit was also doing his role for the first time. Toastmaster Lalit, one suggestion from you from my side that you could introduce the table topics segment by connecting your introduction to the table topics by the theme of the meeting. So we could know more about the theme that is being talked about in the meeting. Also, in the introduction, you could also mention the time that a speaker that is who is supposed to speak in the table topics. For example, Toastmaster Mannat, she spoke for at least 3 to 4 minutes. I guess we love her speech every time she speaks in the table topic, but she lose track of her time. So if you could just remind all the table topic speaker beforehand that this is your prescribed time and you should stick to the time limit. That is something you could do. Now coming to all the table topic speakers, they did all a great and fantastic job, starting with Toastmaster guest Shubham and Toastmaster Rahul, Toastmaster Mannat, Toastmaster guest Tushar, and uh, and our newest Toastmaster Eddie Pang. I am sorry that you couldn't get opportunity to participate, but since you are a Toastmaster, you will get many opportunities to speak in our club. So don't lose hope, and we'd like to see you speak in the next meeting. So I guess we are I have done with all my speech evaluations. Back to you, Timur. Toastmaster Jatin, over to you.
Thank you so much, Janani Valutralo. It was really mesmerizing to see all the role players and auxiliary role players performing their role at the optimum level. And moving on to our theme and continuing our story. In 1948, at the world stage, where the best shooters around the globe were competing with their best hand, but Carolee, he was competing with his only hand. So who won the world event? As you might can guess from now, the man with the only hand. Carolee won the gold medal. But he didn't stop over there. At the 1952 Olympics, again he competed and won the gold medal for this country. This time, Carolee didn't even win the gold medal, but he changed the history forever. Before Carolee, no one has won 2 successive gold medals at the Olympics. We can go to any loser. He has a long list of excuses why he couldn't achieve a particular goal. At the same time, when we go to a winner, he also has 1,000 excuses as to why he can't do it. But the winner needs only one reason to achieve the goal. That one reason will compel him to stand up and rise again after every setback. That one reason will be enough to call him the winner. Our greatest glory is not in never failing, but in rising every time we fall. After training his left hand for 10 years, from which he couldn't even write, at the Olympics 1948, Carolee was at new stage where new challenges and competitors were present. Similarly, a new member in Toastmasters isn't aware of certain aspects and how to move forward in the club. To eradicate these difficulties, the club is conducting a module segment which will be informative and guide members how to move forward. When I asked our newly elected president about her idea of rising after a fall, I could sense her optimism from the lines that sun will rise. There will be a new dawn. She asked me to remember just 4 words. This too shall pass. She has been a figure of a great knowledge, and I could reach to her any time of the day or the night as she could reach our past our past members. So I invite her on the stage with a huge round of applause, our Madam President, to conduct the orientation program.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the meeting, Toastmaster Jatin Verma, and our main role players, Toastmaster Lalit Agarwal as the topics master, and Toastmaster Alok Kujur, our general evaluator. We have all overcome the electricity challenges that the Delhi city was facing and all of us were facing. And we have overcome not just that, but we have made sure that irrespective of our role players not being available, all of them, or certain interruptions happening at times, we still carried on. And that, I believe, is the summation of the theme that no matter what happens, we will rise again. Uh, There is a story about the phoenix, but who rose from the ashes. And at one point of time, this club too had experienced that kind of setback when all of our experienced members had left, and we were struggling to find any mentors and any leaders who would guide us and who would guide our new members. But today, that is not the case. We have many leaders with us, we have many experienced Toastmasters with us, and we are in a very strong position. We can only become stronger from here. The trick is not to let it go. So do not ever think that it's all right, we're good, we don't have to go any further. Now, I know that our timer will not be able to share the screen while I am sharing. So first of all, I would like to confirm if you all can see my screen now. Are you able to see it?
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Okay, so what do we do at Toastmasters apart from giving speeches, apart from playing roles? What is the reason why we joined Toastmasters? I believe that most of you would be like me. I joined Toastmasters because I wanted to be a good public speaker. In fact, I did not even want to be a good public speaker. I just wanted to be able to speak in public because I used to be so nervous. I couldn't even stand straight. I would just start trembling, and I wouldn't know how the words were going to ever come out of my mouth and whether they will even reach the ears of my audience. In fact, that was the feedback that I got for most of my speeches in the beginning. But my leaders persevered and they continued to guide me. And that is why I realized that you join Toastmasters perhaps to improve your communication skills, but then you start shining as a leader because it is such a positive and supportive learning environment. I do not know of another organization that has put this so simply in its mission statement. If you had paid attention to the mission statement that our Sergeant at Arms announced at the very beginning of the meeting, it said that we provide a mutually supportive and positive learning environment in which members are empowered to develop their communication and leadership skills. Every single word of this mission statement is followed by every single Toastmaster. And yes, there are challenges, and yes, there are people who do not follow this mandate of positivity and supportiveness to the T, but they're usually cut down and they are replaced by people who will make sure that they um, get the right guidance and everybody progresses and we do not uh, set anybody back because of some personal reasons. It is a non-profit educational organization and it's headquartered right now in Englewood, Colorado. The very number that you can see on your screens, 364,000 members all over the world in 145 countries. There's a saying that you can get potatoes anywhere in the world. I believe now we are coming to the stage where you can find a Toastmasters club everywhere in the world. And if you walk in as a Toastmaster, every single club will always respect you. If you walk in and ask the VP Ed for a role, chances are you will get it. That's the kind of supportiveness that we try to have. And there is no teacher to teach you here. It's all the learning that you wish to acquire at the pace that you wish to learn. The clubs that we join, so every member becomes a part of the club. So, and Toastmasters follows an inverted pyramid where the member is at the top. And it is the member who joins the club, forms the club, and there can be community clubs like Delhi One Toastmasters. There could be corporate clubs. For example, Google has a corporate club. There can be institutional clubs. For example, the Faculty of Management Studies has an institutional club, and you can get most of this information in much greater detail by visiting our site toastmasters.org. You don't have to memorize it. You just type Toastmasters, it will take you to Toastmasters. All that you need to do on Google. It is divided into various categories, if I could say that. The world headquarters, as I said, it is based in Colorado, but the rest of the clubs and the regions exist across the world, and the all of them are divided into 14 regions. And each of these regions has several districts. You can see at the bottom where which district is located. Perhaps you can focus on the yellow part of this map, and that is where our district lies. Every district has certain divisions. Currently, our district has 22 divisions, and every division has certain areas, and every area has certain number of clubs. Every club will have at least 20 members, ideally. Um, So it's 20 plus members, at least in a club, and then 4 or 5 clubs making up an area, 4 or 5 areas making up a division. The number of divisions varies from district to district. Right now, our district is really large. It is the largest district in the world, and it has 22 divisions. And we belong to region number 13, which is that yellow map that you can see. To go further, our district is District 41, and it covers northern India, Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, and then the central part of India is one district, and then there are several districts in the south. One of the districts is also comprising Sri Lanka. Then we have the Southeast Asian districts clubs forming various districts. At every in any organization we need certain leaders, and our district, I speak of district because this is where most of our business happens. This is where most of our guidance comes from. This is where most of our challenges and campaigns and everything comes from. So we are most closely tied with our district, and our district is led by certain district officers. At the top of the helm is our district director. The district director who is in office from July 1, 2021 onwards is distinguished Toastmaster Ranjit Acharya. He also has in his team 2 program quality directors. Distinguished Toastmaster Ankur Yadav, who will be taking care of the program quality requirements of Northern India, Nepal, and parts of the Orissa and Bihar. And then we have Distinguished Toastmaster Ayan Pal, who will be taking care of all of such requirements for Bangladesh and West Bengal and the Northeast divisions. Then we have certain club growth directors who are responsible. So the program quality directors are responsible for making sure that the district is functioning according to the TI rules and all of its programs are running on a quality basis, and the meetings that we conduct are of good quality. So they give us the guidance and they give us suggestions to make sure that our clubs and our divisions and our areas are all running in a quality manner. Then we have the club growth directors, which, as the name suggests, means that these people are responsible for increasing the membership in our district. Suman Shakya, distinguished apologies, distinguished Toastmaster Suman Shakya is responsible for the North and Nepal regions. And the distinguished Toastmaster Kaushik Bhattacharya is the club growth director for West Bengal and Bangladesh and Northeast. All of our divisions have a division director at the top. We have 22 divisions, and under the division director, so until district director, PQDs, club growth directors, that is CGDs, and the DivDs, that is the division directors, are all elected officers. So our district council, which comprises a number of people, including the division directors, etc., and the presidents and the vice president education of all the clubs in the district, form the district council of the district. And we elect our incoming district director and all the names that you see until division director. Area directors are a part of the district council, but they are all appointed. They are not elected. In addition to these top 5, 6, 7. Okay, so the top 7 that we have, and the division directors and area directors, we also have 4 appointed directors or managers, as they are called also. So we have the DPRM, that is the District Public Relations Manager, who is responsible for the public relations of the entire district. The DPRM also defines the guidelines that all the clubs need to follow in the district. And then we have the district's logistics manager, uh, who is the district administration manager. We also have the district finance manager to make sure that the budgets, income, expenses of the district are taken care of, and the accounts are shared time to time at the set frequency with the entire district in the district council meetings. We also have the immediate past district director, Nimish Joseph, who just was our district director for the last year, Toastmasters year. And he's there to guide the entire district so that we do not lose the knowledge and learning that we gained during the past year. Okay. Then we have our division, which is where our club belongs, that is Division E. And division director is Kashish Gupta. We have 4 areas in our division, and our area is Area E2. Our area director is our very own member, Toastmaster Anand Kumar. We can all congratulate him also if he's still there in the meeting. He had to leave, I know, but if he's still there, then yes, it is a proud honor for DOTM. Corresponding to what you just saw at the district level, we have a similar set of people which form the executive committee of our club. Okay, we also call it as EC for short. It's led by the president, followed by the vice president education, who is responsible for the entire program or the educational program of the club. And then we have the vice president membership, who, like the CGD, is responsible for increasing the membership of the club and making sure that the club is always in a state to be a distinguished club. And we have the Vice President Public Relations, whose responsibility is to advertise and communicate the club's achievements and activities around the social media and in the Toastmasters community, and reach out to members outside the Toastmasters community so that the Vice President membership can get a tick into the membership goals, because unless and until we get wonderful guests like you, how would we get wonderful members like us? Then we have the secretary who maintains the club records, the club papers, the license of the club, not the license, but the charter papers of the club, and the minutes of the meeting are also maintained by our club secretary. The treasurer is the person, like the DFM, has responsibilities to make sure that the club's financials are always in a healthy state, and the treasurer will raise a red flag in case the club needs to take corrective action. The sergeant at arms is the Toastmaster who will make sure that every meeting is started on an enthusiastic note. The meeting setup is done perfectly. Everyone is there, has the link, or if we had physical meetings once upon a time pre-corona days, the venue had to be booked, the venue had to be arranged in a particular manner to conduct a Toastmasters meeting, and that was the responsibility of our sergeant at arms, or SAA as we often call the sergeant at arms. Next, we have certain meeting roles. So you've already seen the entire meeting, and we had one speaker today. Typically, we try to have more speakers, but because we had a module today, so we cut short the speeches. Every speaker gets a dedicated speech evaluator who will evaluate the speeches according to the project of the speaker. And I'll come in a very short while as to what that project is. Then we have three main roles, which are the Toastmaster of the day, the Table Topics Master, the General Evaluator. Then we have auxiliary roles. Typically, we have three auxiliary roles. That is the timer, the hour counter, and the grammarian, also called as language evaluator. At times, we can have a listener, is something that we have quite frequently, and a joke master if we are running short of humor. And then there used to be this one fanciful role that I had introduced called the observational humorist, and you have to be able to see some of those meetings to realize how funny it can be when the observational humorist shares the report. Why do we have these people? These people are there to make sure that the club is always at its excellence and at its peak of performance, so that we can say that our club is distinguished. The the criteria that you see before you is for a president's distinguished club. The If we achieve 9 out of 10 goals, so you can see that there are 10 goals that are listed. If we achieve 9 out of those 10, then we get to be called as president distinguished, and it comes on our dashboard. Right now, Delhi One Toastmasters has been a president distinguished club. Uh, Now the new term has started. Now uh, the timer and the setting has been reset. Now we have to make sure that we not only become president distinguished, but even more. And those awards are specific to our district, and which is why I'm not mentioning those here. If we achieve 7 out of these 10 goals, then we become select distinguished. And if we achieve 5, then we become a distinguished club. There are 4 categories. First is the educational goals, which are driven by the levels and the projects that the Toastmaster members of the club achieve. Then we have certain membership goals, and we also have some administration goals, which may seem like a very, very small thing, but when it comes down to it, it can cost us a goal. So we all have to keep an eye on it. Finally, we have the training goals, which means that our club officers, the executive committee officers, have to make sure that they attend the trainings that the district organizes. All of us are not executive club officers, but we are all our members. And so, what should we do as members if we are to succeed and if we want our club to succeed? The first and foremost thing is make sure that we are signing up for the roles and make sure that we try to vary the roles that we are doing so that we learn to take the stage in different aspects. If Toastmasters Jatin would only deliver speeches, he could not have done what he did today for taking on tasks impromptu, reaching out to so many people for their introductions, having a theme that strings the entire meeting through. And when you take up a role, we must prepare. We must prepare very, very well. And we have to perform the role properly and with responsibility in the meeting. When we perform any role, the evaluation segment is not the only place where we receive feedback. We get feedback from our leaders, we get feedback from our mentors, we get feedback from senior Toastmasters, and they tell us how we can improve in future, which is really important because there's no point in doing something again and again if we are not going to be able to um, perform it better in future. Now I come to something which is called as Pathways. Pathways is the Toastmasters educational program. We used to have a traditional educational program which had manuals. We used to get those as printed copies. Now everything has gone online and we have 11 paths to choose from depending on what our career aspirations are, what are our um, uh, points that we would like to I'm sorry, did I miss something? Okay. Yeah. So there are certain points that we want to develop in ourselves as it might be a personal goal. So according to what our goals and aspirations and desires are, we choose one of the paths. Ideally, we follow one path at a time. People who are as crazy as I am also follow two paths at a time. And the first path, by the way, comes free with your membership. The second time around, when we go to choose a path after completing the first one, we have to pay $20. Okay. Now, the content is available primarily in English, but it is also available in other languages. If the club that you have joined uses a native language or uses a specific non-English language, then you can afford to choose your path and get all of your online material in different languages and use those to deliver your projects. So yes, this is this entire text I have just presented here so that this PPT can go to all of you who did not want to listen to me and would prefer reading. I am also a reader, so I don't mind at all. But now I would like to share another screen so that you can see how Pathways comes about on yours. This is the typical toastmasters.org site. And what we do is you see this Pathways tab that I have already highlighted for us. If you click on this, you see this kind of a screen where right on top you get certain options. You can either start your path or you can choose a path, which is usually something that a new member would do. Once you've chosen a path, you will go to the base camp and you can use the navigator to navigate through your base camp and traverse your path and make sure that you are completing it all. Now, if you were to choose a path as a new member or as somebody who has already chosen a path, completed it, and now wants to select another one, okay? So this is my base camp. This is the way it looks like. Now you will notice that everything, and this is of course for all of the members, everything would look pretty much the same except for the fact that my club name seems to be professional speakers. That's because I'm a member of multiple clubs, and in two of the clubs, I'm in the executive committee. This is the only club where I'm not in the EC, and therefore I wanted to choose this one so that I could show what kind of a screen a typical member would see. And if I were to choose Delhi One Toastmasters, it would ask me that I'm switching my club. And once it does that, as you can see, I can also log in as a Basecamp manager, which is obviously something that is available for only the Basecamp managers. And there are 3 Basecamp managers for every club. By default, it's a vice president education, but the president and the club secretary also support as the Basecamp managers. They have a few more rights and multiple more responsibilities. But let's go further and see, if you wanted to choose a path, what would you see? You would see a screen where you would be required to select the language. Then you would be required to select the medium through which you want to access the material. Most people are comfortable like receiving the and accessing the digital resources. Some people may want a printed material, and then they can select the second option. It is not recommended. The digital resources option is recommended. Okay, and I'm just going to show you the if you were to select this. Okay, and it would ask you how you want to select your learning path. Now, there are 2 options. Either you've already gone through all of the paths, like somebody like me, I've already gone through most of the paths. I can tell you most of the paths in brief. I can explain those out, but a new member wouldn't. And a new member would also want to make sure that when they make a choice, it's the right choice, especially because it's their first path. So we take an online assessment, and it will ask you certain questions. It's a very simple interface. I'm not going to go into it for in the interest of time. You answer the questions, it will ask you what you want to do and where do you think you are, what is your expertise level for whatever you want to do, and then what would you really want to go deep down into, like the specific levels. Then it will show up 3 paths that meet your requirements and your skill level. It will also tell you the top path that matches your requirements. You have the choice to choose the top path or the other 2 or something else completely different if that's what you wish to do so. Now, if I were to go to my base camp after choosing my path, this is the screen that I would see, where the paths and learnings and speech evaluations, tutorials and resources are there. It's a good idea to go through the tutorials and resources. You get a kind of a knowledge of what you are doing. Like I said, I am one of those few people who have 2 paths selected already. I've completed 2 paths and now these are my 3rd and 4th paths, and both of them appear here. When you click on open curriculum, it will launch your path and it will display the various levels, okay, and the various projects in each of these levels. um, as you can see, so there are 5 levels in every single path, and then there are a couple of projects that you need to do after completing level 5 in order to complete your path. Level 1 is where the simplest possible things are happening. Level 1 is common for all the paths. The first project that most of us feel comfortable while delivering is an icebreaker speech, which is our introduction to the club. And then it is followed by evaluation and feedback. As you can see, I've completed these 2 projects, and which is why there's a small white tick over here. And it also tells me that my level 1 is completed by 50%, and I need to complete further researching and presenting, which is now here comes the trick. I have actually completed this project, but I've not marked it complete. And I specifically waited until today to show you how you can mark it complete. Um, let me just see if I can. Please let me know if you can still see the pop-up. Okay, it's going to take time. I'll probably have to come back and do this later.
Does it have a maker checker control? As in somebody has to approve on my launch tab whether I have completed or not, or it is just a self-assessment?
The launch is nothing much except that it launches the project for you. To mark it complete, there are certain screens that you have to go to. And even after I mark the project complete, my VP Ed will still go into it and check. Okay, for example, for evaluation and feedback, we actually have three projects. Two are speeches and one is an evaluation. So our VP Ed will check that both the speeches were delivered, the evaluation was covered and had been delivered. Maybe it was not delivered in our own club meeting, maybe it was delivered somewhere else. But the member still needs to get back to the VP Ed and explain that, okay, I delivered it somewhere else. So you can check back with the VP Ed of that club. And then the finally, as you can see, I will still get to mark this complete. But after that, a request will go to my VP8, that is the base camp managers, and then they will actually approve the completion.
Okay.
So it doesn't matter what I'm doing. If I am and it's not
Right.
that, like, we deliberately make a mistake, because the it's just a screen that we have to go next. That is why that mistake is actually very easy to make, and that is why the VPAD always maintains a record and tracks it so that these kind of mistakes are not done. For the VPAD, by the way, it is also necessary to not just approve the path or the project or the level complete, but not the project complete. Projects are marked completed by the members, but the level will be marked complete and approved complete only by the VPAD or the base camp manager. But after approving the level completion, it is also necessary for the VP or the club officer to go and file on Club Central. Let me just show you what it looks like. So we have to submit an education award, and I will select, and now you will notice, if you are very careful and smart, that my name will not appear here, because obviously it is unethical for me to file my own award, no matter how much I want my club to get it. Okay. Once this award is filed, then only it gets added to the club's database. And once it appears on the club's database, then we will get to see it on our dashboard, and it will count towards our DCP goals. That's a distinguished club program goals. Now let's go back to what we wanted to see. Okay, now this is the navigator, which I mentioned earlier as well. And the reason why I've come back to this screen is something that all members struggle with, and all evaluators struggle even more, because people find it very difficult to identify, where do I get my evaluation form? Where does it state for the evaluator which objectives does this project need to meet? So it's very simple. Any of us, it doesn't matter what path we are following, as long as we are members, we can just simply go to this tab, and it will open this page where it will ask me various questions that are presented as an frequently asked question, FAQ format. And below that, you can see all of the evaluation resources. All you need to do is know which project you need to get the evaluation form for. whether you want to provide this evaluation form to your speech evaluator, or as a speech evaluator, you want to get this form for the speaker's project that you are planning to evaluate. So you can just go over here, and it's all alphabetically sorted. So it's that easy to know. Now let's just go back to my beautiful PPT. It's after all made with so much of effort, as you can see. Only text, no animations. Okay, you've already seen a typical meeting flow. The sergeant at arms will open the meeting, invite the president. The president will deliver an opening address, greet the guests, invite the TMOD. That means the Toastmaster of the day. And the TMOD has a theme for the meeting, serves as the host or the anchor or the MC, whatever you wish to call them. A typical meeting structure has three segments: prepared speeches, where members deliver their speeches that they have prepared according to the projects that they are following. And I just showed you how we identify our projects. And then there's the impromptu speeches, or as is called the table topic segment, in which guests are also allowed to participate and deliver 1 to 2 minute speeches. Then we have the evaluation segment, where we hear from our speech evaluators, our auxiliary role players, and the general evaluator. Finally, the Toastmaster of the Way will invite the general evaluator for the evaluation segment, and the general evaluator will conduct the evaluation segment just like Toastmaster Alok did today, and then hand the stage back to the Toastmaster of the meeting so that the Toastmaster of the day can conclude the theme and invite the president back for awards presentation. What happened differently today was that we also had this module that you had to all sit through. And I'm so thankful that you all paid attention. Now, here's this small little link, very deliberately in the smallest font possible, simply because it goes at the bottom of every single agenda email. It is for the purpose of all the members who are planning to take up any roles in the meetings. This link is a wonderful link. It has all the role descriptions for all the possible roles that you would want to play in a particular meeting. If there is a role for which you cannot find the description, please feel free to fire me and then ask me. I do not mind. But do go through this drive and do go through this folder to see what the role descriptions are. It also has like certain checklists and everything, which just makes it easier for every role player to follow all of the steps. Now, as a member, I've been, I've completed 2 parts. I've done so great. But there are other things also that I did. I was a club officer. I am a club officer now also, and I have also served as a district officer from 2019 to 2020. I was the area director. I have served as a club mentor for one of the clubs that I helped launch. I've also served as a club sponsor for another club that I helped launch. And finally, I have completed what is called as a DTM project. So I am all ready to file my DTM award, and any of our club officers like Toastmaster Jatin, who is our club secretary, and Toastmaster Santosh Devi, who is our Vice President Education, can file the award for me. Okay. This is the highest individual award that a Toastmaster earns, and there are probably 1% of people who are Toastmasters and distinguished Toastmasters. And there are then again some other rare people. Only one person I know who has achieved the Distinguished Toastmaster award 7 times. And there are a couple of people, like I just mentioned, Distinguished Toastmaster Ayan Pal, who is our program quality director for West Bengal and Bangladesh and the Northeastern District. He has achieved the DTM twice. Not that we are calling him DTM square, but he's good that way. And yeah, so this is what I wanted to leave you all with as a goal for yourself. Do not think that you're just a member. You can be so much more, and then you be called as a distinguished Toastmaster. One thing that I would quickly like to take you back to is this particular slide. And I'm not come here so that you can memorize these words. I want you to memorize only one thing. Ankur Yadav DTM with a comma is how we write DTM. How we pronounce or how we speak is always distinguished Toastmaster Ankur Yadav. We do not say Ankur Yadav DTM. Okay, I know this is like really irritating and nagging for me to demand this out of you, but that's actually the convention and law that we should be following in Toastmasters. So please make sure that you do it. And if you're still not satisfied, well, there are contests where you can claim that, yes, you are the best speaker in the world, and that's the World Championship Public Speaking. And the World Champion of Public Speaking, there are a couple of people who have won it from India, and we are still struggling to get another one. And the table topics contest, the humorous speech contest, if our district decides to conduct it this year, is something that we can also look at. And then we have evaluation speech contest. So if you notice, each of the meeting segments that were there are kind of covered as contests. So at any point of time, if you really want to know where you stand in the current crop of Toastmasters, feel free to compete. All that you really need is to make sure that you are a member, except for the international speech contest, in which case you also need to have completed level 2, which is why the VP education and I and the VP Ed team is going to get out of you and make sure that all of us complete level 2 so that we can all compete in the upcoming international speech contest. And finally, there are many, 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 many kind of speeches that you need to give and be paid for when you can become an accredited speaker. And thank you for being such a patient audience. If there are any questions, comments, or ideas, I'm happy to take them for exactly 2 minutes. Mr. Timer, you will now have to time me for 2 minutes. Yes, Toastmaster Jatin.
What is this Medley Award? Like, I can't get.
So Smedley Award is something that our district launched in order to make sure that we get more members in. Okay. And it was launched, and the idea was to get more clubs formed. The idea was to get more members in, and all that the district wanted was that you are getting members and you are getting clubs formed. Just make sure that when you get a member in, you get the credit as a club sponsor, as a member sponsor. And when I say member sponsor, it does not mean that it is going to be a financial sponsorship. It just means that you are responsible for introducing the world of Toastmasters to this particular member and you're bringing them into the fold. So you are the club sponsor, the member sponsor. There is a particular uh, text box that checkbox. I'm sorry. There's a particular checkbox that we have to tick in the membership area to mark the sponsor of the particular member who is being brought in.
Follow up to that, can this award be won just by the VP membership, or anyone can claim this?
Anyone. For example, if I am bringing my friend in, okay, I'm not the VP membership, but I'm the one who's actually introducing Toastmasters to my friend, and I'm trying to convince them to join the club. So the credit goes to me, and my VP membership fills in my friend's, let's call her Anita for the time being. Okay, so she fills in Anita's details on the membership tab, which is a Club Central, and then marks me as the sponsor. So once you do that, and there's another form that you fill, then uh, the district, but that's like for the last term. Okay, now from yesterday, a new term has started. We'll get a new set of district awards and campaigns and challenges. We just need to wait a little bit.
Thank you.
Any other ideas or any points? Like we have like 30 seconds according to what the timer showed us.
I had a question that can members also attend the leadership training?
Yes, all of the members can attend all of the leadership trainings, except for the funded TLI, which is conducted at the district level. TLI is Toastmasters Leadership Institute, and we have a Toastmasters Leadership Institute at club level where the club officers, the executive committee officers of the club are trained. And then we have all the district officers getting trained at another TLI level, which used to be called as DOTP, or District Officers Training Program. And the club officers training program was obviously called COTP. Okay. If you have any questions, I'm always around. And so is your entire EC. So are your mentors. And that's the final thing that I want to request all of you, that please make sure that you have a mentor and are constantly in touch with that mentor. If not, then please let us know that you do not have a mentor, or you're not able to connect with your mentor as much as you would like, or you're not getting as much mentorship as you would like. There is no harm in saying so. For example, your mentor might be genuinely busy, or it is the pandemic, might be ill, or might be taking care of a loved one who is ill, and therefore cannot spend that much of bandwidth to guide you and mentor you, in which case you can always reach out to your EC, and as soon as possible we will try to get you a dedicated mentor, as until the time that your own mentor is ready to take up. Okay. Now, Mr. Secretary or Mr. Sergeant at Arms. So the Sergeant at Arms is not here. Karthik, are you there? Thank you. Could you just launch the poll for the best role player?
Want auxiliary role player.
Yes,
Poll
sure.
also.
Sure. Let's vote for both very, very quickly. Shall we go to the next poll?
Yes.
Mr. Secretary, will you be preparing the club certificates, the award certificates? Jatin, do you want to unmute? Yeah.
Yeah. So I've asked someone to let me remember the name.
Let me.
I've asked Bhavya, I guess, because
Okay.
certificate.
Okay. All right. Okay. No issues.
I'm sorry,
So
Jatin. I think you've asked somebody else, not
I
me.
can prepare if Jatin can. You can just send me the names of the people.
Certainly, the poll results will be with Sergeant at Arms.
okay, no issues. Karthik, would it be possible for you to send the names to Sajal?
Yes, I will try
You
to
can send
send.
in chat box.
Sure.
Please send a personal message. Do not send it to everyone.
Yeah.
Otherwise, this certificate will kind of lose its significance. While the certificates are getting prepared, I see that we only have Manat with us from the guests. Manat, would you like to share your feedback for today's meeting? Manat? Okay. I'd like to then hear from our new members. Toastmaster Eddie, would you like to share your feedback and how beneficial it has been for you and what you'd like to see happen in future meetings?
First of all, thank you, ma'am, and happy birthday to you again.
Thank you. Thank you.
Have a long, prosperous, happy life.
Thank you.
And since this is my first time, I learned a lot. I especially learned about role plays and evaluation. I mean, I did got an idea about it the last time when I attended this meeting, but I was having some network issues. So today, attending it, it was much more better, and I could make out everything I did. So although I didn't got the chance to speak earlier during the table topics, but it's okay. Hopefully next time. So yeah, I'm really excited about this, and hopefully I learned a lot from you guys. Thank you.
I'm sure that we will learn a lot from you as well, Toastmaster Eddie. It is really nice of you to utilize your time. And whenever you want to put up some pictures of Arunachal Pradesh as your virtual background, it would be so lovely.
I would love to do that, ma'am. It's
Please
just
do that.
it's,
It will. It's our only chance to see those hills and greenery at the
yeah,
moment.
and it's just that I'm using a phone. I don't have a laptop, so
I think
but I
now Zoom allows virtual backgrounds even on
yeah
phone. Just check it out. Yeah.
yeah okay, I'll do that. And
Yes.
thank you for being interested in my home state, Arunachal Pradesh. It's
I have
the
been there. It's beautiful.
you've been here.
Yes.
Okay, okay. Thank you so much. I hope you find it. I hope you found
Oh,
it
it
lovely.
was. It is absolutely amazing. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much. Thank you so. And the rest of the members, if you guys can visit Arunachal, please do.
We all will. No, we'll make it. We'll make a meeting there only, right at the top of Sela Pass.
Oh wow, you've been to Tawang. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you so much, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
And Toastmaster Baldev, would you like to share your feedback with us and like any points that you would like us to take care of in the future meetings? As a seasoned Toastmaster.
First of all, happy birthday to you,
Thank you.
Toastmaster Rolly Sinha. In fact, I will just share in very condensed manner. I don't want to evolve too much today. And two things. One is this presentation, what do we Toastmasters do? I mean, which is given at the last by you. I mean, this was a new thing for me because there were certain things which the pathways and the selecting all that stuff and taking more toward digital side. And of course, the end DTM and all this stuff, the same thing. This is a really for me refreshing as well as new learning and combination of both. And the second thing, which of course for last 3 meetings I was watching was that I said, where is that joke master has gone? Now this is the role I used to love, and I would like this to happen in this club also. Then I noticed, oh, there is a chance for me to evolve again or reinvent myself. So overall, these are the two my observations, and more I can share when the time allows and as we go forward. All in all, good session.
Yeah. Toastmaster Baldev, actually, I think I would love to have the joke master role back. I just have two challenges to give to you. First, you take up the first joke master role, and second, it will not be a joke that is present all over WhatsApp world. So if you can promise me these two things, I will be very happy to have this role back into our meeting. It used to be there when I joined Delhi One Toastmasters 4 years ago. It was there. That was my first role. That was my first award as well. But I started to see that it was just like, any joke that people would just get. And I felt that the quality needs to be improved a little bit, which is why I'd introduced this role of observational humorist. So the observational humorist simply observes the entire meeting, and like people count hours, the person counts the faux pas. And Toastmaster Sajal is there, who's preparing our certificates right now. She's won that several times, and the kind of observations that she used to come up with were really funny. But yes, it was a role that was much easier to do in physical meetings. But I'm sure that the joke master role can be brought in, provided that the jokes are slightly different or new or original. Original would be the best.
Yeah. Let me try this one to engineer this stuff. Yes. Yeah.
Any funny incident of your
Yeah.
life,
I mean,
just bring it to
yeah,
us.
humor. Yeah.
Yep. Excellent. So we have one role player confirmed for our next meeting. Are the certificates ready? Okay.
Just 1 minute.
Yeah, sure. Okay. What about the other members? I know that we are like very, very late, but I just hope that the members found it useful to attend the module. I don't know if I was able to cover everything. I know that I was not able to cover everything, but I hope that what I covered made sense and helped you in some manner. So anybody wants to share, and you don't have to say that it was nice just because it's my birthday.
I have one question for Mr. Roli.
Yes.
Uh, can we give a speech from a project that I have not yet completed? For example, I'm in my level 2 project. I have not completed it, but can I give a speech from level 3? Even if I have not completed my level 2 project. For example,
You can. So that's the reason why Toastmasters opened all of the levels to be visible, irrespective of which level you are at the moment. And you can deliver projects from any levels, any of the levels, whether it is from level 5 and then you want to go back to level 1, that is also perfectly allowed. But you can't mark a particular level complete until the previous levels have been marked complete. So only after level 3, level 1, 2, and 3 have been marked complete can you mark level 4 as complete. Yeah.
Thank you.
Toastmaster Devi has lost electricity in the house.
Yeah, it's been happening from last half an hour, 40 minutes. So
Roli, can you just see the chat box?
Yeah, sure. Sorry. I apologize for not.
So they are ready, but I need the co-host access.
Yes, sure. Karthik, would you be able to give her co-host access?
She's the co-host.
Go for it, Sajal. Don't hesitate now. Oh, really? I thought this was a rule that we had formed that we will not guess. Okay, let's go ahead and
Okay, so you can announce it. I'll just move myself.
yeah, so our best table topic speaker emerged with a nice close margin. A lot of people were great contenders. Toastmaster Shubham Rastogi, the award is all yours. Congratulations. And the best auxiliary role player, whether we want to count her as our counter or as language evaluator. Yes, ma'am. I know that even with your darkness, you are the light of our shining in our path, and you are yearning for electricity. But for us, your face is absolutely beautiful. And
Thank you so
congratulations.
much. Thank you so
Thank you.
much, Roli.
And our best role player, extremely well fought contest, I must say. Toastmaster Jatin Verma, you emerged. Congratulations to all of you. You did a fantastic job. I could not be more proud. Thank you so much. And with that, we shall meet next week. We will. 311th is round the corner. Let's reach out to our VPN and VPN team, which is, by the way, comprising Toastmaster Anand and Toastmaster Lalit and Toastmaster Santosh Devi, our VPN. And you can let them know which role you would like to take up if you'd like to deliver a speech. And I will see you next week, same time. Thank you so much.
Bye. Bye, Roli.
Thank you,
Bye,
Officially
everyone.
Jatin.
announcing
Bye.
the meeting closed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Good night, everyone.
Good
Good
night,
night.
everyone. Bye bye.